Hello everyone, it's Amira. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy you're here. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Amira and I love Animal Crossing and coffee and decorating and making cozy videos that feel like you're hanging out with a friend. So if that sounds like your jam, please consider hitting that subscribe button and we would love to have you join our little cozy community here on YouTube. I think you'll really like it and you won't regret it. So that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. Today we are building a home for my friend Plucky, and if you know, you know. This takes me forever to figure out the exterior of this home. Honestly, feels like a fever dream. I feel like I lived so many lives trying to figure out this exterior. We go through so many changes. I mean, like metamorphosis was happening out here, okay? First, we start off with this home, and I stick with this little coloring for a little bit, and literally while I was filming this, I was like, wow, I'm gonna be able to say that I figured out the exterior so fast. It came together so fast. Ha ha ha, Amira, you're funny to think that because we go back and forth for a while. I completely forget to use the bigger homes right away for whatever reason. I was going with the smaller one, and then I was like, oh, the big homes. I like the big homes. Why did I do this little one? So I don't know. I don't know what was happening, to be honest with you, but we figured it out in the end. It just takes a very long time. So what are we building for Plucky today? Well, if you watched the video that I posted on Wednesday, planning my Springcore, gardencore island, I was feeling like that's just what I wanted to build. I've never built anything like that before, really. And so I just kind of wanted to get in the Springcore mindset, practice it a little bit, see kind of where my head was at for the island, see what I could kind of come up with. So at first I was leaning very like farm. I wanted to make like a little shed for her, which you're seeing me try to figure out right now. Spoiler alert, that doesn't stay. None of this stays, okay? You have a long way to go before the exterior of this home takes shape for what it ends up staying. Anyways, I was really leaning towards farmcore at the very beginning. So I was thinking about putting like a tractor and a bunch of wheat field and crops and giving her like a little farmhouse. That's honestly why I chose Plucky in the first place. I really wanted to do like a farm at the beginning, and she looked like, she's a chicken, right? So she would live on a farm. So here you're seeing me try to put out these little garden plots, these little farm plots. This also just like took me forever to figure out. And that is just not what this ends up turning into. This build ends up turning into very Springcore, very inspired by what I want my own island, Basil, to be like, because we haven't started building over on Basil yet. If you are new here, or if you've only seen my speed builds or my island tours, I just started a new island called Basil, and you should definitely follow along because I'm super excited. It's going to be super cutesy and whimsical and pastel, and this was my little practice run for that. So I am doing this on my other Switch, so I don't have any of the codes saved for Basil on here. So I kind of just had to work with what I had. Now you're seeing me kind of realize that there are larger homes and like different styles that I can work with. And it just like grab a snack or something because this takes forever. Anyways, you should definitely follow along while I build Basil. And the end result of this is kind of similar, not 100%, but pretty similar to what I am envisioning Basil to be. So what happens in this exterior is I end up having a little picnic section that is like in an entire wheat field. I surround it in wheat field, and there's like 2 tables and floor cushions, which is very inspired by the island that I toured on Sunday. There was this little beach gathering spot. I was just so inspired by that. I thought it was so cool. And so I basically recreated that in here, and I surrounded it by wheat field. And then on the other side, I do like 2 little garden plots, which is like very, very Basil core, to be honest with you, with like a little bunny and like a bucket and fertilizer bags and all of that. I just go back and forth on the details a lot for this exterior, so it takes a minute. I do apologize for that. Just this exterior alone takes forever. For a while, I thought it would be cool to go with these like green colors. I then was thinking of like, okay, when I play Stardew Valley, I like to have the garden plots or the farm right in front of my home. So I was like, well, if I go Stardew Valley, then I can have like a pathway leading to the door and I can have 2 sort of farm sections on either side. And also that is not the way that this build turns out. It just takes a while to come to fruition. It is what it is. I am a slow builder. I have to work through like 30,000 ideas before I land on the right one. And in the end, I think it's really, really pretty. It just took me a while to get there. I don't know if anybody else plays Happy Home Paradise like this. I never really come in with a plan. It is super rare for me to like open up Happy Home Paradise already with a specific build in mind. Usually I go over there just because I'm feeling creative and I want to build something, and I go wherever the wind takes me. And so this one, like I said, started like in my head, I was like, maybe I'll do farmcore. Nope, I didn't. It was very basil core, and that's okay with me. At first, I thought maybe I shouldn't do that because I'm going to have a lot of like very Springcore builds coming up for you while we build up this island. But I don't know. I didn't want to force anything that I didn't want to build either. So here we are using our orange trees that we're going to be using on basil. You can see that I did edit the exterior again, and I think this is what I stay with for the majority of this video. I do go back at the end of like the exterior portion and change it again. But I think this is what we stick with for a while. So now you'll see that I have these storefronts lined up along the back, like left-hand portion of this plot, and those end up staying there. That is kind of where the whole picnic scenario ends up taking place. So those garden plots end up getting moved. Those get deleted for a while. And that is kind of where the wheat field and the picnic ends up taking shape. And I just think it is so cute. I use lots of greens and whites. I use the orange hyacinths, and it's just very calm. I feel like I have a couple bunnies and a couple ducks that end up showing up. Towards the end of the exterior, I was like, oh, basil is supposed to be simple, and I feel like this build did not turn out very simple. So I remembered it at the end, and I deleted just like a little bit of clutter because my goal for basil is to be pretty simple, but I can't help it with the clutter, you guys. I just love it so much. I'm always thinking of new things to put down, and I have such a hard time leaving empty spaces. So this was a little exercise in that just towards the end. There is some Ingan grass that peeks out, and although it was kind of hard for me and it hurt my heart a little to not cover up every single empty space, it was an exercise in self-control. So now you're seeing this little picnic spot take place. Again, like I said, this is so heavily inspired by the island that I toured on Sunday. I mean, like these exact same items were used in a very similar color scheme. So go and check out that video if you would like to see where that inspiration came from. It was a beautiful, beautiful, simple, minimal, natural island, and everything that I aspire to be as an Animal Crossing builder. Also, I would just like to say, speaking of like being an Animal Crossing builder and like weirdly content creator, that's still so weird for me to say, we're so close to 2,000 subscribers, you guys. What the heck? That's crazy. It'll be a year that I started this channel in June, and the fact that we are like this close, I'm like doing a little inch with my fingers, you know what I mean? Like I'm pinching the air. The fact that we are like this close to 2,000 subscribers already, oh my gosh, you guys make my heart so happy. I just like don't even feel like I deserve this. I'm just stunned. Every single day I log on and I'm like, what? People like me. People like what I do. That's just, it's wild to me because I just love this game so much. And I was watching this other girl, her video today, and she was talking about her like Animal Crossing journey, I guess, like where it started for her and how long she's loved this game for. And it just made me think of all of you for some reason. I was feeling very emo today about it. Like, I just can't believe that this game that I have loved since I was like 8 has turned into this like incredible little community. I am so thankful for all of you. If you are not a part of our Discord server, I will have that linked down below for you. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place to be. I mean, we literally talk about everything under the sun over there. It is such a safe space. I truly feel like everyone in the server is like one of my friends. Today we were talking about struggling with comparing your own island to others and how that can like truly impact your inspiration and your motivation. I know that I struggle with that all the time. Like, my island sucks and there's no point in even trying to work on it right now because it will never be as good as these other people's that I'm seeing. Like, it just is a really great place to go for that kind of stuff. But also, we talk about life in general. We share pictures of our pets. We talk about our trips that we have going on in our personal lives. It's truly like a little space to have some internet friends. And I highly, highly, highly suggest going and checking that out. Even if you don't post anything, if you're not an active member, there have been a couple new members that like apologize for like in advance for not being incredibly active. And I just want to say, like, you don't have to apologize for that. You can go and join and just read what other people say, see if other people have asked similar questions. It is the most welcoming group of people that I have like ever encountered. And I'm so proud to be a part of such a kind and welcoming community. So there's my little soapbox on that. I don't think I will ever stop plugging it because it is just such a joy to be on. I love everybody over there. Like, kiss, 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 kiss for all of you because I love you so, so, so much. Anyway, now you can see how this little picnic area has taken shape in all of the wheat field. If you are new here, one thing about me is I love wheat field so much. So much. It is my favorite item by far in this game. I can't ever not use the wheat field. I said this before and I'm going to say it again. If you ever see me do a build where I don't use wheat field, please check in. Please just send a little message and say, hey, how are you doing? How's your mental health? How's your personal life? Because you didn't use wheat field in this build, and that is like alarms should be going off in your head if I don't use wheat field. You know what I mean? Also, I do just want to put a little disclaimer, even though we are like 12 minutes into the video, I was having such bad, what is it called, like stick drift or something with the Joy-Cons while I was building this. My right Joy-Con on this Switch is so unresponsive, and my like Pro controller died in the middle of this build, so I had to switch over to the Joy-Cons, and it was so frustrating. So if you ever see just like a little pause where nothing is happening, just know I was trying and I was probably yelling at my Joy-Con because it wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. So fingers crossed that the next Switch doesn't do that. Also, we should talk about that because next week, the Direct for the Switch 2 is dropping, and oh my gosh, there's such a big part of me that is just so hopeful for an Animal Crossing announcement, and I know in my soul that's probably not going to happen. We were talking about this in the Discord today too, actually. We are probably not going to get an announcement for Animal Crossing in this Direct, but I already know that on the second when that drops, I'm going to be just so hopeful and my fingers are going to be crossed and I'm going to be anxious all day just waiting for this announcement. And I don't want to get my hopes up, even though they already are. Overall, I am just so stinking curious to know what's going to be in the next Animal Crossing game and if it's going to be a launch title, which I don't think it will be, but I would love to know what your thoughts are if it's going to be a launch title. I would love to know what you think will be launch titles in general. I feel like we've all kind of come to terms with the fact that we're probably going to get a Mario Kart, but I would love to know if you think, like, are we going to get a Zelda? Are we going to get like an Odyssey 2? Are we going to get Animal Crossing? I love hearing other people's predictions. I can't get enough of it. I'm so curious. I'm like foaming at the mouth to know what this next Animal Crossing is going to be and when we're going to get it. I'm itching for it. I'm also a little bit anxious because I feel like it's coming so soon and there are still so many islands left that I want to build, and I just feel like not enough time. Considering it took me 4 years to finish my first island, I could have been making how many different islands in that time period, but I was just slow and I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. And so now we're in this situation where the Switch 2 is being announced and I've completed 2 islands, and I'm really regretting that. So if you're in the same boat, at least we're in it together. We're all in this together, as a wise musical once said, you know what I mean? Anyways, back to the build. You are seeing me try my hardest to figure out a little bunny garden in the bottom right hand corner, and although the idea is super cute, the biggest reason why I couldn't get myself to stick with this was the fencing. I thought having the stone fencing on the left and then the simple wooden fencing on the right just like didn't make sense in my head. It was too different. I couldn't get myself to do it, even though it sounded so sweet. So just know on like my actual island Basil, we will have a bunny garden, if not more than one, definitely one. But here in this like super close space right next to that stone fencing, I just couldn't get myself to do it. It seemed so awkward. So now you'll see me try and figure out a little garden plot. Like I said before, these two little garden plots take shape, and this whole little section ends up very similar to the little mood board that I showed you in Wednesday's video for like my plan with me video for basil. I had this little like garden plot thing happening with like the storefronts behind it. I don't use storefronts here, but there's like a bunny, and then I have a little pathway going in between the two little plots. I use the log fencing behind it. I don't end up putting any fencing in front of it. I do try. You'll see me try a few different options, but then it just like covered the garden from the front, and for whatever reason I couldn't get myself to do that. So the fencing here just gave me a lot of grief. I was getting really frustrated with it. I couldn't stick with one plan. This whole like corner of this plot just took me a while. So, you know, my slow building, my indecisiveness. She's indecisive, she can't decide. Sean Kingston was an icon for that line. And I think he wrote it about me because I am incredibly indecisive, especially when it comes to building. You'll see that I did these two little pathways up, like leading out of the picnic area towards the house that were kind of like staggered little skinny horizontal lines. I've seen a couple people do that, and looking back at it now, I should have put like a wagon or something there to make it look like tracks. I didn't, but that would have been a cute idea. You know, you think of this stuff after the fact, but that's kind of what I was going for. You'll see me again toy with little pathways in front of the garden, and I do end up going with another little skinny little dirt pathway. I put a bike down there. I keep that log fencing behind, and it's really just kind of figuring out the little minor details at the end of this little exterior portion. So this is kind of how it stays. I think it looks really peaceful and cute. Like I said before, I do end up going and changing the exterior again, like once this is all said and done. I just can't get over that little picnic area. I think it is so cute. I love all the little floor cushions. I pretty much do another version of that on the interior as well. So the interior, oh my gosh, I'm like obsessed with you guys. I had no plans for the interior going into this. Once I started going with this Springcore thing, no, I had no thoughts. For a while, I didn't even know if I wanted to do an interior because this thing took me so long. It's a very small one-level home inside, and collectively, this build took me about two and a half hours. I don't know, because this exterior took me so long. So I was like, shoot, should I even do one, or should I just keep it at this exterior? But I wanted to do an interior. I always do an interior, so I do end up going inside and decorating just this little like sunroom. It ends up becoming like if I had a dream, like my dream sunroom, what would I put in there? So it ends up super cute. I use like the cafe curtain wallpaper, which is my absolute favorite. I put a little piano because I love to play the piano. I put lots of books and cozy seating and coffee and tea, and just it ends up so sunny and bright and cute. And my goal for the homes on Basil, like I said, this is very like Basil core basically, is pretty similar, just like cutesy, whimsical little homes, nothing too themed, just like stuff that I think is pretty. So I'm so excited about that. Now you're seeing me put some ducks down, and I do try to use the toy ducks because I've seen some really cute little like family of duck ideas with the toy ducks, but I don't know, it looked awkward to me. So I go back to my trusty decoy duck item. I wanted to use yellow flowers so bad, but I didn't like the way that they looked next to the wheat field. Like I thought the coloring kind of clashed, and I couldn't get myself to do like only orange hyacinths on the left side and then only yellow flowers on the right side. To me, I needed it to be like, I don't know, a mixture of both. So I try some yellow flowers in the wheat field, but it just doesn't look right to me. And then I try getting myself to just have them be on the right, but oh my gosh, it was bugging me so much. So the yellow flowers go away. I end up putting down some weeds, and I think I end up deleting one because at some point around here is when I remember that I wanted to be like simple. And so I delete a couple things, and this is pretty much how the exterior stays. Here I am redoing the look of the home like I said I would. I just kind of wanted it to be a little bit more colorful, or at least I thought I did. But I go through a couple different options with like colorful doors. I toy around with the idea of maybe using a pink or yellow door, but I actually don't like any of the colorful ideas, and I end up literally putting it back to pretty much exactly the same exterior as it was before. So really silly of me to think that I would want something different. I just find that so funny and kind of embarrassing for me. Then I changed the time of day to be the like very pretty 6 a.m., 7 a.m. lighting. I just think that time of day in Animal Crossing is so pretty. I used to love the 5 a.m. lighting, but I think I have changed to more of a 6 a.m., 7 a.m. It's just so like golden and sunny and warm, and I feel like it smells like morning time. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, jump scare, we're moving inside, and this was actually a rebuild. And okay, don't laugh. Well, you can laugh at me if you want. When I first built this home for Plucky, I built her like what in my head was a stereotypical like Floridian grandma home. You didn't get to see very much of that here, but just so you know, that's what it was before. I don't really know where I got that inspiration from, or what I was really going for, or how that happened. But like I said before, this ends up becoming like my dream little sunroom. I just am obsessed with sunrooms. I want one so badly in my like future home. And I put bookshelves. I give myself a little library. I give myself a piano. Like I said, just everything that I love to do. I just filled it with all my favorite things, basically books and music and Kindles and coffee and all things cozy. And I used my favorite wallpaper, and I used my favorite rug, and I used these really warm wood tones that I love too. I wanted to use this record player so bad because I want a record player like this in real life, like desperately. But it just like didn't fit, and I wanted it to be a relatively small room because I'm thinking again like a sunroom off of the side of a home. Usually those are like quite small. They're not exactly huge. So here I put the little piano, and I use the piano bench in that really pretty color. I end up putting the like potted ivy right on top, because if you put it right on top of the piano like that, it looks like it's like sitting on top of the piano, which I think is really pretty. I end up using just a lot of like light wood tones and soft colors. This whole thing honestly came together so quickly. Like I think there's like 6 minutes left in this entire build, because it was just everything that I love, and it did not take me long to kind of clutter it up. I also kind of wanted it to feel like the placement of items. I wanted to feel kind of random. I don't know if that really makes any sense. I didn't want it to feel super organized, so I go back and forth with like maybe putting the sofa like randomly in the middle of the room. I end up putting it on the side, but I do put the little, like I said before, I replicate the little picnic area outside inside just like a little bit, and I put that sort of where I'm toying with putting the couch now. But I just wanted things like scattered throughout the room. Like if I had my dream little creative space, this is what it would be. Just so full of natural light, a place just all windows, so I could have them all open on beautiful days. I had the windows open like pretty much all afternoon today because it was in like the mid 50s, and it was just so nice outside and so sunny. And just my dream is to sit in a room like this with the windows all wide open, and I can just go back and forth between my favorite hobbies. So I could read for a little bit. I could go to the piano if I wanted. I could take a little nap on the couch. I could have my coffee. I would maybe have my little handheld Switch. Oh, I should have put like a Switch light in here or something like that. Well, I don't know if that really would have matched the aesthetic, but that would have been pretty. I do toy with the idea of putting a ceiling fan in here for a while, but I end up getting rid of that because, I don't know, I just didn't really like the way it looked. And again, this is my dream, right? So it is always the perfect weather, and I can always have the windows open all the time. But something to note is there have to be screens on the windows so that no bugs can enter the premises. This is a bug-free zone, and in my dream reality, there are screens, and I just open the windows, and the little curtains are kind of like blowing in the breeze. And I didn't end up putting a record player there, but if I could have, I would, and there would be pretty music playing all the time, and I would just it would smell nice, and I would drink my coffee and I could just live in a room like this. I just am so obsessed with it. I think it turned out so cute. And it came together so fast too, because I just simply adore it. There are just a few minutes left of this speed build here, so I will kind of start saying goodbye. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really would mean the world to me. I post new videos every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Wednesdays are build videos on my own island. Fridays are Happy Home Paradise speed builds like the one that you just watched. And Sundays are island tours. There is a link in my description if you would be interested in having me tour your island on the channel. Just go ahead and fill that out, and I go through those every so often. You can also submit them through Instagram DMs or on the Discord. Again, if you are not on the Discord, I highly suggest checking it out. I swear it's worth your time because it is just the kindest people on the internet. I would also like to quickly thank all my members. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all and your support and your kind words and your love. Truly, I cannot express how much you mean to me. Thank you. I love you all. That is pretty much all I have for you today. I will let you finish watching this speed build, and then at the end, I will have some screenshots of the whole build. I hope you are all having the most wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Goodbye.